What if your emotions were just messengers, signals from something wiser, quieter, deeper? In this guided meditation, you'll listen to what's beneath them and discover what your inner world wants to show you. Intro 2. Today I'd like to take you on a journey into the fluid realm of your unconscious mind in search of a potent treasure. Back to main. My name's Hazel Gale. I'm a former therapist turned author and creator of the fantasy mental health game Betwixt. And this hypnotic guided meditation has been written to help you boost self-confidence and awareness, as well as a sense of inclusion with the greater world using archetypal imagery and metaphor. Before we begin, if you're interested in the meaning of the symbolism involved, you can read the slides as we go. But to get the most out of this, I'd recommend you get comfortable somewhere where it's safe to close your eyes and relax, and sit or lie still for the next little while, following my words and just noticing the imagery, ideas, and other things that pass through your mind. So let's start with a few grounding breaths. Gently breathe in through the nose, and then slowly out through your mouth. Noticing how your muscles relax as you release the air. Continue breathing in this way, in through the nose and slowly out through the mouth, at your own pace now. And on each exhalation, see if you can encourage a different group of muscles to soften. The muscles in your forehead and scalp, releasing. Those little muscles around and behind your eyes, letting go. The muscles of your jaw, relaxing. Perhaps noticing now the way your shoulders begin to feel heavier, as if they're releasing a weight you've been carrying. As your jaw loosens, your breath deepens. And you might already sense a shift within, that quiet process of opening yourself to calm and ease. As if every breath can flow through your body like warm waves of soothing, cleansing water that wash away the physical tension of your body. So that as you allow your breathing to return to the most comfortable and natural rhythm for you now, in and out through the nose, you can just let yourself sink deeper and deeper into a state of physical and therefore emotional calm. Remembering that you only ever need to be as relaxed as you want to be. Right now, right here. Some days it'll be more, others less. And that's okay. Then, when you're ready, I wonder if you can imagine yourself standing in a sunlit clearing, a meadow. The grass beneath your feet, soft, springy, and warm from gentle rays of sunlight. All around you are tall, graceful trees, their leaves swaying slightly in the mild breeze. The air is fresh and clean, carrying the faint, earthy aroma of the forest, grounding, comforting, familiar. You pause now to notice the sound of birdsong coming from high above, mingling with the gentle rustling of the leaves. And there's something about this clearing, this place, that feels safe, inviting, as if it's always been here, waiting, just for you. And you notice now that there's a well at the centre of this meadow, with a bucket hooked to a winch, dangling just above. This well is made of smooth, ancient stones, moss growing in the crevices, flowers blooming nearby. And as you look at it, the well seems to glow softly in the sunlight, as though it holds something more than just water within. And you might wonder, as you walk towards the well now, how it is that you're moving. Whether you feel drawn towards it as if it has some kind of magnetic pull, or if perhaps you're more hesitant, taking slow, deliberate steps. Either way, I'd like you to notice that the ground beneath you is firm and steady, supporting you reliably, constantly. And then, when you reach the edge of the well and look inside, you see water. So still and deep and clear that its surface is like a mirror. And as you find yourself unhooking the old pail and lowering it into the well, watching as it descends, I wonder if you can turn your attention to the way you feel emotionally today. As the bucket gets close to that mirror-like pool at the base of the well, its reflection increasing in size, you might start by considering whether you feel good overall or not so good today. The big picture version of how you feel, the broad strokes, the surface level of your emotional state. Just notice it. Then, as the pail breaks the surface of the water and allows the first drops to cascade over the rim, you might get curious about the specific feelings present for you now. If you're feeling good today, you might wonder if you're experiencing a sense of excitement, contentment, calm, happiness, amusement, or connection. Or if today is less than good for you, perhaps you notice feelings such as anxiety, fear, confusion, anger, frustration, sadness, regret. And you may, of course, feel a mixture of feelings, some positive, hopeful, others darker or more confusing, and that's okay too. Because emotion is complex. Feelings shift and change, and they often contradict one another, which can feel confusing if you expect or want things to be black and white, because things rarely are. And that's actually a good thing. So take a moment now to just breathe and notice what's there for you. As if the deeper the pail sinks down into the crystal clear water, the deeper you can dive into your emotional awareness. As you scan through your body, considering the sensations there in your chest or stomach, your head or your core, labeling the feelings you recognize as the bucket slowly fills. And just observing those that you don't recognize immediately, wondering whether there's a lightness or heaviness, warm or cool sensations, movement, pace, pleasure or pain. Just notice it all. And if you're new to this kind of exercise, or even if you're not, it's always important to remember that there's no right or wrong answer to the question of how you're feeling. That sometimes emotions can be elusive, hard to name or label, and that's also okay. Because the most important thing is simply to get curious about it all. As you breathe, in and then out, as the pail slowly fills, just wonder. And then, when you're ready to move on, I'd like you to consider what it might be that exists beneath these waters of emotion. Because to explore your emotions is to explore the inner landscape of yourself, certainly. But your feelings are not self. They're messages from something deeper, something more connected to who you are, something realer, more permanent. And so, whether you'd consider this deeper level your soul, your subconscious, God, or consciousness, or something else entirely, I'd like you to imagine that the pail of water can sink down to that deepest layer now, where a world of possibilities can open up. Because that level of self can provide for and organize the layers above it. If you know what you want to feel, or even if you don't yet know what you're seeking here, these waters can be whatever you need them to be. So just take a moment to peer down into the well and watch the bucket as it disappears from view. as deep as it needs to go to collect whatever it is that you can most benefit from today. It may simply be more of what you're already feeling. Happiness on some level, motivation, love, connection. Or it might be that what waits beneath the watery layers for you today is something more abstract. Something like self-acceptance, self-love, self-awareness. It could be the gift of rest, forgiveness, a new perspective, or the permission to let something go. So it may even be best not to name or identify this deeper present, but to allow your mind to choose it for you, to seek the one thing that can help most today. So, whether you know consciously what it is you're gathering here or not, I'd like you to watch as you retrieve the pail now. Perhaps finding it lighter than you might have expected, or easier to lift, at least, gliding up through the water as if powered by some other force, so that as you pull it up to the top of the well, hand over hand, and look inside, you can see sitting there at the bottom of the clear water, a perfect glass marble. Perhaps it too is transparent, or maybe it has ribbons of colour flowing through its centre. As you reach into the water and lift it out so that the sunlight can shine upon it, just notice the way this precious resource appears to you today. Because each time you do this, you might notice something different. The marble sometimes large and weighty, sometimes tiny, sometimes clear and pristine, sometimes vibrant with many different hues and textures to see within. Whatever it is that you've collected here today, close your fingers around it, hold on to it, because it's yours. And then you can hang the pail on its hook once again, so it's ready for the next time you need it. And, still holding the glass sphere in your hand, I'd like you to turn away from the well and notice a path you hadn't seen before, leading gently downhill, shaded by trees, sunlight streaming in through the leaves. As you begin to walk down this path, I wonder how you feel. Whether you feel lighter somehow, or freer, perhaps, as if the earth beneath your feet is carrying you effortlessly forward, or whether it's something else entirely. As always, just notice it all. And as you walk along this path, you pass blooming flowers in vibrant colours, their petals opening towards the sun, and you can hear the faint sound of flowing water in the distance. As the path levels out, you realise the source of this sound is a wide, sparkling river. The water glimmers, reflecting the sky above, and the closer you get, the more familiar this water might seem, because it's the very same magical water that filled that well, but here it flows powerfully, weaving its way to somewhere new. There's a small wooden boat waiting at the riverbank, its surface smooth and inviting, safe, you realise, protected. And so you step onto the boat now, finding it sturdy, regardless of being afloat, and allow it to carry you downstream. The current is constant but gentle, guiding you without effort, so you can just watch the world go by, the trees on the riverbank, the rolling fields behind them. And as the boat drifts, you might notice shapes in the water, reflections perhaps, of people you love or just like, people who love you, like you, appreciate you in whatever way they do. Perhaps people you're yet to meet, but who are already part of your story. The water of the river seems to flow around and through these reflections, connecting them, connecting you to something past, something unbroken. And I wonder if you can feel it now, this sense of connection that binds us all together. Because it's easy to get so lost in our own individual stories, our own individual searches, that we forget the journeys others are taking. Very similar journeys through these same waters, these emotions that we all feel, that feeling of searching for something deeper, something we can hold on to. And so, whether you can actually see other people in their own boats on this water right now, or whether you simply know that they're out there, doesn't really matter. Just that you allow this expansive sense of reaching or looking outwards after having looked within. And finally, I wonder if you can carry with you that sense of wider connection, as well as the feeling of the marble in your hand, as you continue on with your day now. No matter whether it's nighttime and you're readying yourself to rest, to sleep, or whether there are still things that you need to do. You could be surprised to notice the echoes of these different but complementary experiences over the coming hours. The ripples you can create simply by giving your attention to what you want, what you need, and what binds you to the world. And so, when you feel ready to do so, I'd like you to take a gentle breath. In through the nose and out through the mouth, relaxing and releasing any residue of stress or tension you might notice in your body, so that you can just flow forward comfortably today, easily, because you can.